The following podcast is a Dear Media production.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Probably a Podcast. It's been a minute, okay? There's hair all over this mic. I've been traveling with it, okay? It's been in my suitcase, just rumbling and tumbling around. We are not in the Probably Podcast studio back at home in Franklin, Tennessee. No. We are in New York. Oh my God, we're dropping things. We're not women in tech. Things are falling all over the place. Hold on. Guys, this is a bit of a different setup because we are in New York and I wanted to bang out a solo for you guys because I just have so much to fucking talk about, okay? So let's begin. I promise you, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, there's either two different things. You're either listening to this right now and you're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to hear finally about like the freaking face debacle. I can't wait for her to talk about it. Or you're listening to this and you're like, holy shit, if she talks about what happened to her face one more time on one more social media platform, I'm going to like literally just jump off a building. So here is what we're going to do. This is going to be the only time, I promise, I will not just keep bringing it up, but I'm going to give you guys the skinny, okay? I'll give you start to finish what I went through. And if you're not sure what happened here on the break, which was gorgeous, lovely, beautiful, had so much fun, did so much, went to some weddings, just had some me time, got my beep boop bop bop brain back, and it was good. It was a really nice time to have a break because I was prepping for this incredibly huge show. I talked about it a ton on the podcast. It was my biggest show yet. It was in Nashville. It was a part of the Nashville Comedy Fest. Woo woo! Pop your pussy. We were so excited. I had written and memorized and was ready to perform brand new material that I was just like so excited for and nervous for and really proud of the material that I had done. So anyways, all that to be said, that all came crashing, burning in a giant pile of shit. And that is because I ate too much sugar and I needed to get a cavity filled. Okay. I needed to get a cavity filled. I was trying to be responsible. One thing about me and my teeth, like there's just like always something wrong. And I've talked to Anna Grace about this. Like you guys might think I'm like silly goose for this, but I'm convinced that there's a universal reason. Like anytime, like my whole life I've had mouth issues. Okay. My sister never had a cavity in her life. Like we grew up in the same household. Like we were brushing our teeth at the same sink at the same time with the same toothpaste and the same toothbrushes. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I have had the worst teeth issues my entire life. One of the reasons I even got like veneers to begin with, I did bonded teeth stuff first, like back in like high school, because I didn't have braces, because my teeth wouldn't fall out. Like they were just like hanging in there, and the orthodontist kept being like, you gotta lose your baby teeth first. And I was like, I'm in 8th grade. This is crazy. Like, why do I still have baby teeth? Like I've just always had something going on, right? And then fast forward to Nashville, I get my first set of veneers that were more like surfboards on my teeth. Didn't like them for a very long time, very horsey. And so I get these brand new veneers that I love. Shouts out again to Smile Texas. Smile Texas has nothing to do with what happened to me. I was at a dentist in Nashville, but okay. Anyways, these veneers are fantastic. They don't fall off like my other ones were. The other ones, I would literally just like eat soup and a veneer would pop off. I'd be like, what the fuck? One of my friends, Brantley, you guys know Brantley, you know her and love her. So much positive feedback about the Brantley and Kyle episodes. Like Brantley, I will have her back on. Don't fear. She'll be back on. But anyways, she brought up this memory because we were talking about like all my mouth issues, and she was like, yeah, do you remember that time we were in college? And my friend Mackenzie Hudson was also like, do you remember that time we were in college and we went to Cookout and you bit into a hot dog, pretty soft food, by the way. You bit into a hot dog and your tooth popped off. And I was like, I did put that in my trauma forgotten box, but yes, I recall. So just always have teeth issues. So I asked Anna Grace, I've grown up with like ulcers. I always have like canker sores. That's what we called them growing up, but people call them ulcers, canker sores, whatever. I've always had canker sores on the inside of my mouth. I have never had cold sores. I didn't grow up with cold sores. But you know, things change. Okay. We evolve. But yeah, I asked Anna Grace if she thinks that like the universe punishes me or if I receive, you know, I put out a lot of good karma into the world, but no doubt I'm definitely, things are dealt to me too. You know what I'm saying? Like every once in a while I get hit with a little like, what did I do to deserve that? Probably something. You know what I mean? Probably something. So it always happens in my mouth. And I said, why do I get punished through the mouth? And Anna Grace did tell me this. She goes, I'll tell you what, your power is through your mouth. You give your power back to the universe and back to this world through your mouth. That is where you give your power and where it stems from. So yeah, you do like things remind you that she said it's so much better than this. Damn it. We got to phone a friend. I'll make her explain this, but she was basically like, where you give your power is also where you lose your power. And so I was like, damn. She's like, you know, like maybe a surgeon would like hurt his hands would always hurt, or he'd have arthritis or something. And I was like, okay, interesting. I'm really botching this probably, but I'm just here to tell you guys that like something's always wrong with my fucking mouth. So the break is nice because I'm preparing for the show. I'm so excited. I'm so elated. We're prepping. Courtney's giggling at all the stuff I'm saying. I'm like, this is good. We're making Courtney laugh. Like, this is good. And I go get I realized I have a cavity. I knew I had a cavity because the last time I got my teeth cleaned, they were like, ooh, you have a cavity. And I was like, ooh, literally never going to get that filled. Don't care. And then literally a year went by and it started kind of like, it just kind of hurt if I ate candy or something, you know? And I thought, you know what, if you let a cavity go too long, you have to get a root canal. So if you let it, that's true. Okay. I've had a couple root canals before. I do not want another one. I do not. So I was like, I'm going to be really responsible and I'm going to go get my cavity filled. Okay. And where had I just gotten back from? Producer Courtney, help me out. Phone a friend. Where I had just come back in town. We had just gone to visit my parents and it was such a fun weekend. We had a lovely time. I told my mom even like, I'm going to get a cavity filled after this. And then Taylor did say to me, Taylor said this, she goes, I'm shocked you're going to get a cavity filled so close to your show. I was like, well, first of all, it's a week and a half away. Second of all, it's a cavity being filled. Like it's the most routine thing you can do. What do you mean? Like it takes 2 seconds. You're numb for like 2 hours. It's a cavity filling. It's not a big deal. And I'm being responsible because I don't want this to turn into a root canal. And she's like, okay, fair. Because if I have to get a root canal, I have to pop my veneer off. You know what I mean? So it's just a whole thing. So I go and I get a routine cavity filled. Here's what I need to make very, very clear. Okay. This has like been wildly discussed and I feel like everyone's like number one thing when they hear this story is like, I hope you got justice. I hope like all the words like you should sue, you should this, you should this. I am really over, I think it's Americans in general. And I touched on this a little bit on Taylor Strecker's podcast, Taste of Taylor, and she used this word litigious, right? Like the world we live in is so litigious. That word means everyone's trying to sue everyone. You know what I mean? James actually told me like it's a very American thing. Like Americans are known for being litigious and like how he's like, isn't it crazy? Like, can't you like sue someone for like falling at your house? And I'm like, oh yeah. In America, someone could break into your house, trip and fall, break their femur, and they'll sue you even though they were coming to rob you. He's like, it's crazy. Like, it's a very society we live in. And I understand when people need to sue someone for malpractice or things that they really need, they deserve a settlement for and they deserve compensation for. That I'll always understand that. Everyone should get what they're deserved and owed in a case that they really need it. But this is not one of those cases. And I'll go into that a little bit further, but I just want to like, I'm not going to even say the dentist office because it's a great dentist. I'm going to keep going to this dentist, just like make that clear. But I wanted to say all of that before I start the story because the story is fucking crazy, but I wanted to lead on a positive note. Like it's a good dentist office. I'm still going to go back. This was a freak accident because by the way, because of fucking course this would happen to me. Of course it would happen to me. For podcast material, I don't know. For once in my life, I could have done without. You know, I could have thought of some other stuff to talk about. I could have just really drummed up some funny things to chit chat with you guys about. I didn't need this, universe. For the content, I didn't need this one. All right. If you're listening, God, anyone, with the mouth stuff, we could reel that in for the content purposes. Okay. So basically I go get this routine cavity filled and a dentist does walk in. That's not my usual dentist. It's fine. It's a routine cavity filling. Like I literally, if a guy off the street said he could do it, I would believe him. You know what I mean? I could probably figure it out. It's not that hard. And a very crazy thing happened. So I'm a redhead. So I require more anesthesia. And so I require more Novocaine, all of it. You know what I mean? And the good doctor, the dentist, she said that she was like, do you usually need a little bit more Novocaine? I was like, ooh, yes. And here's the thing, I am not trying to feel nobody drilling near my, I'm just like cringing thinking about it. Like, yes, give me extra Novocaine. I will always say, and I know that means you'll be number for longer, which is annoying, but like, I don't care. Like, give me extra Novocaine. Sure. So the cavity that I was getting filled was my very, very, very far back molar. Also, I should do a trigger warning. If you have dental anxiety, do not let this give you more. I know you're like, fucking tough luck, bitch. I am. Don't let this give you dental anxiety. This will never happen to you. It is the most like 0.000% chance it can happen to you. So like when people are like, I'm going to get a filling next week, I'm fucking scared after seeing your stuff. I'm like, don't be. This will never happen to you. Okay. It only happened to me because I don't know. I'm fucking special and rare. So anyways, the cavity I was getting filled is in the very, very back molar. Okay. So this is like, just a little bit more intense of a Novocaine shot because you're talking like right by your like jaw hinge. You know what I mean? That's just like it's a really tough spot. And it's a tough spot to get the needle back there for it. You know what I mean? Cause it's so far back in my gums. It's the literal back molar tooth. So I get one shot. Does not hurt at all. I go numb. She asks if I want another one. I say I'm pretty numb, but like I'm gonna be honest. Like I die at the idea of feeling you drill and then me realizing I need to be more numb. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get another one. I eat through Novocaine really quickly. Being a natural redhead, it's this like really weird like gene mutation that redheads have that genuinely is a true fact. Like my friends that went to anesthesia school and friends, plural, no, this made up lie that I just made up. I have one friend who did go to school to be an anesthesiologist, and she did message me a slideshow one time that she was learning about. She's like, we're learning about you today. And it was all about how the gene mutation in redheads require us to have more anesthesia. Okay, there you go. So facts. Anyways, I'm like, yeah, doc, hit me with another shot of Novocaine. That's fine. So she does. So when she does this, I will say, I'm not looking in a mirror, you know what I mean? And the shot did not hurt because I was already numb. The dental hygienist, she did look at me and she was like, ooh. And I was like, ooh, what? Like, I'm so numb. Yeah, I'm pretty numb. And she was like, your face is swollen, is woo, like blown out to the side. And I was like, oh, really? Didn't think anything of it. She pulls out a mirror. Now that was weird to me. I was like, oh, you never want the dental hygienist to show you something. You know what I mean? Like, why is she confused that I look like this? So she pulls out this mirror and I look at it. You guys, my face was like very swollen out to the side. But again, I did not think anything of it. I literally put my headphones on and started, because there's a TV on the freaking ceiling. It's so cool there. And I just kept going back. I started watching it's some like animal documentary that Barack Obama narrates. It's fantastic. Okay. I just watched back to that. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, yeah, I guess I'm super numb. I didn't look at my face and go, what the fuck? You know, I was like, haha, yeah, that's funny. And then I get my cavity filling and I'm done. Okay. I'm in and out. It's fine. I go back to the house. I'm laughing because, you know, I look ridiculous and so numb. I go see James. James is like, oh my God, you look so funny. And I'm like, I know. I see Taylor. I live my life. I go on. Courtney comes over. We do, I tell her that I'm still pretty numb. She was supposed to come over. I got my filling at 9. She was supposed to come over at 1:30 or 1 o'clock comes. I messaged her. I'm like, I'm sorry, Courtney. I'm so sorry, but I'm still so numb at 1:30. I thought this would for sure be worn off. I guess because I got an extra shot of Novocaine. It's not. And she's like, no worries. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, cool. We'll do the run through of the show tomorrow. So then around 6 p.m. I still wasn't unnumb. And I'm like, this is weird. Like I got this in at 9 a.m. I was like, weird. 8 p.m. I start really freaking out because now I have this like Bell's palsy look where like my lip is so dropped that it feels like a nerve thing because now I'm becoming unnumb. So now I can feel stuff, but my lip is still dropped and has no movement, but my tongue is unnumb. My cheek is unnumb. Everything is freaking me the fuck out. And I've never done this before. People Pleasers Anonymous. Like I can't even imagine like bothering someone like this. And I called the emergency line for the dentist office. Like, you know, when you like see something terrible happen on the highway or you need to report something, I'm always like, oh, I don't want to call 911. I don't want to, you know, mess up their line for emergencies only. Like, I'm just like, never want to do that. But I was like, I have to do it. I have to call. I mean, my teeth aren't falling out. I'm not bleeding, but like, this is crazy, right? And James is like, this is definitely not normal. Like long wear Novocaine, maybe, but like it's been like 14 hours. This is crazy. I don't know if that math's right, but you know what I mean? Got it done at 9 a.m. It's 8 p.m. And so I called the emergency line and the doctor that did my filling actually answered, and I talked to her and she makes me feel better. She's like, this is some long lasting Novocaine, you know, like just like try to get your metabolism up, like go for a walk, you know, drink a lot of vitamin C, like just anything to kind of, like, I'm not worried about it. It's okay. I'm like, cool. Also, it wasn't like I like sent her pictures or anything. I just called her like, this is weird. I explained what's going on. About 2 hours later, I start really freaking out and I call her back and she's like talking me through some stuff. And then I finally, I was at this point posting on my close friends, and Bridget and Dr. Mike, shout out Bridget because I love her, and she was on my close friends, and she was like, hey, Mike's a little concerned. He's going to give you a call. So for reference, Dr. Mike is her husband and a friend of mine. He's amazing. He's a plastic surgeon and he specializes in like nerves, nerves in the face, right? Because he literally gives people like facelifts and stuff so when you're peeling someone's face off, that sounds crazy, but that's basically what they do, facelifts. You better know a lot about nerves in the face. And so he does. So he FaceTimes me. He walks me through stuff. He makes me feel so much more comfortable. I explain what happened, how the like procedure went, and then exactly what happened with the puffy face, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, first of all, you do not have Bell's palsy and your nerves are going to come back. He made me make a bunch of faces with my mouth. He's like, your nerves are going to come back, which is what I was so scared about. I was like, is this how I live my life now? Like, it was so scary. And he was right. It wore off the next morning. It did take a full 24 hours, but he was like, here's what I think happened. He's like, I think you have a hematoma. And I was like, what is a hematoma? He's like, I think that she might have hit an artery. He's like, I'm not a dentist, but it seems that you have a hematoma. And a hematoma, by definition, is basically when something punctures an artery. That sounds really dramatic, like I would bleed out, but no, it's puncturing an artery, which then pulls blood, like a pool of blood forms, and then that is what the hematoma is, aka a giant bruise. But because of that being pretty traumatic to the face, especially because it's in your face, not like your leg or your arm, your swelling is really intense because your body swells to protect you. Right. So anyways, I look crazy for that reason. And I'm like, a hematoma, this is crazy. It's all kind of funny to me. I'm not going to lie. I messaged the dentist. I'm like, I think I have a hematoma. Actually, I just talked to my friend who's a nerve specialist. She was like, I think you do too. I start Googling stuff. I'm not upset with her. I'm really not. It seems like a rare thing. I call one of my friends who is a very, very, very well-known dentist in Texas. I talked to her. She's like, listen, this can happen. I have since spoken to 3 or 4 dentists who have said, this is such a rare thing. This does not happen, but it could, and not in a way that like technique was performed wrong or anything like that. You're supposed to aspirate the needle whenever you go that far back in the jaw. And like, this is just something that they don't put me in an MRI before I get my, a cavity filled. They don't know where your arteries are. All they have is x-rays of my, bones and teeth. So he's like, it is the craziest, rarest of things. Like, it would happen like one time in your career, maybe, but like, technically, like it's just a freak accident. It's nothing like the word malpractice would never be thrown around in this situation. And like she didn't botch this filling. It's just a crazy freak accident. And I'm like, oh my God, that made me more comfortable because like I don't initially I kind of wanted to blame someone, but also I just thought it was kind of funny how crazy it happened. And I was like, whoa, this is so funny. Mother's Day is coming up. Don't mess around and forget about it. And I've got the perfect gift for you guys, okay? Because this is something, me, not a mother, just the consumer, and I love this. I have always been trying to find cookware that I love that can make me the perfect omelet, okay? And so you come up with all these ideas. You're like, oh my God, I see this and I see that and I see this. And they all say they make the perfect eggs. They slide right off. But which one of them are non-toxic? Okay. Like that's what matters to me. I need clean, non-toxic cookware. And so Caraway is doing that. You're going to get your perfect little eggs where you don't have to use a pound of butter. You don't have to use a pound of oil. You're going to get that, but you're also going to get non-toxic, clean cookware. Okay. They have so many colors. They have a million different things. They have sets, like all of it. I have the most gorgeous green color. It's like this sage green. It looks so amazing in my kitchen. Okay. Like it's such a slay. We love it. But whatever you want, whatever your aesthetic is, just know that you're also getting non-toxic cookware. Okay. So yes, it's gorgeous. It's clean. Your mom's going to love it if you get it as a Mother's Day gift, but it's also like non-toxic. All right. The Caraway products are made without any toxic materials like PFAAs, PTFEs, PFDAs, OAs, all of the things, okay? All of these hard to pronounce chemicals that I'm getting wrong, but you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to pronounce them because they are not in your cookware, okay? Their ceramics are naturally slick. The surface, that means minimal oil, less butter, so that you have those slide off the pan eggs that we all love, okay? And over 65,000 people have rated 5 stars about their Caraway kitchen items, so it is time to try it for yourself, all right? Just as a reminder, they're internet famous, so you guys know that I bought it. Their cookware set comes with the saute pan, the fry pan, the Dutch oven, and the saucepan, plus lids for all of them. You got a canvas lid holder, a magnetic pan rack for storage. It's just the ultimate kitchen setup, and it'll save you $150 versus buying the items individually, all right? So you need a set, all right? Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/probably10, that's carawayhome.com/probably10, you're going to take an additional 10% off your next purchase. So this deal is exclusive to my listeners. All right. carawayhome.com/probably10, or just use probably 10 at checkout. Caraway is non-toxic cookware made modern. So the next day I go back in and I speak with both, a couple dentists at the practice. I show them the hematoma. It has started bruising at this point and it's really swollen still. So, I just really look crazy, and I can't really talk very well because it's so swollen that my inside cheek, you can't really talk because you're biting the inside of your cheek and it starts to hurt. So anyways, I talk to them. She tells me let's just get you on a steroid pack. Let's get that swelling down. Let's do this. And then this is the part that is really sad. I did then find out that hematomas can last up to 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. My show is now in 7 days. I'm like, shit. Well, no, it's in like 10 days. It's in like 10 days. And I'm like really, really upset by that because I look really weird and not like myself. And I was really pumped for the show to look fabulous and gorgeous and like crush it and in front of a bunch of people and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm very upset by that. But what can you do? You know, she tells me your face is going to bruise a lot. It's going to be a huge bruise from like the top of your cheekbone to the bottom of your neck. I'm like, oh my God. Or to like the bottom of your jaw. Yeah. Is that your jaw? Yeah, your jaw. Anyways, I'm like, oh my gosh. And she was not wrong. The bruise just kept growing and growing and growing day by day and then started fading as a bruise does. I'm eating all this arnica. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm listening to every doctor on Instagram. Y'all are all messaging me. Everyone turned into a doctor. You guys were all very helpful though. And I told her I was fine as long as the swelling was down by the show. I could cover up a bruise with makeup, but the swelling was really like freaking me out the way I look. I kept catching glimpses of myself being like, whoa, what is that? And it was only one side. So it was so unsymmetric. Like I hated it. So anyways, really puts in perspective like what you look like, you know what I mean, when something goes wrong. So I'm like, cool, it's fine. I'm really just like, it is what it is. This is like so crazy and I'm posting about it all the time every day. You guys see me on my Instagram like hematoma-gate. Me like love to milk a situation like for content. Like this was still kind of making me just like giggle, laugh, whatever. She suggests that I go get into a hyperbaric oxygen chamber so that I can help speed up the process. I look into this. It's a very, very well-known thing. Like they're great. They're fantastic for, you know, speeding up healing. People do it when they have like really bad illnesses or cancers or something like this. It's a great thing. I think Justin Bieber fucking chills in oxygen baric chambers because it's Lyme disease or something. I don't know. I look it up. I find one in Franklin. That's really great. I go to it. You guys, I cannot make this part up, and I get some cryotherapy done to help the swelling. And I know what you're thinking, bitch, you're doing the fucking most. It's a hematoma on your face. I know, but like, why not try to heal faster whenever you have a huge show coming up? Like I was like, okay, fine. So I go to this hyperbaric oxygen chamber. I bring my printed out notes for the show because I'm like, you know, reviewing the notes. And I will say the worker, I'm still not going to name anyone, although this one to me does feel like she's at fault, but like whatever, it is what it is. She looked at me and she was like, hey, you can bring your phone in if you want. And I was like, oh, I can? I figured I couldn't. It's like a spaceship, like tubey thing with a bunch of oxygen. I was like, oh, I figured I couldn't. And she was like, no, you can if you want. I was like, cool. Literally wasn't going to bring my phone in. Brought printed out paper for that reason. So because you're in there for like an hour and 20 minutes. So like it pressurizes for 15 minutes to this really high level, like the airplane. And then and then you're in there for an hour and then it depressurizes for 15 minutes. So an hour and a half. Okay. And so I'm pleased to bring my phone. I watched a couple TikToks. I'm watching TikTok for maybe like 10 minutes. The machine like pressurizes to the stage it's supposed to be at. They walk over, they put a thumbs up. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, cool. I'm like, it pressurizes. All of a sudden my phone goes into SOS mode. I'm like, weird. That's weird. It's not working. And then I'm like, well, I guess it's at a pressurized point where it doesn't work. And I was like, that's so funny. She would have told me I could bring my phone in here if it didn't work. So it didn't work, which is great because you know what? I need to fucking review my notes anyway. So I was like, it's a sign. I need to review my notes. So I look at my notes for the rest of the hour and 15 minutes. I get out. And when I get out of the oxygen chamber, my phone's still in SOS mode. And I was about to pay with my Apple Pay for the session. So I was like, that's weird. And I said to her, I go, weird. My phone went into SOS mode in the chamber. And to her credit, she was like, that's weird. She wasn't like, oh yeah, it does that. She was like, that's weird. And I was like, yeah, weird. Anyways, so then I go to pay her and I'm like, I'll turn my phone off and turn it back on and it'll be fine. It was still in SOS mode when I turned it back on. I was like, this is weird. I go get my wallet out of my car. So I go pay for my services. I get in my car. And I am literally so bad at directions. Like you guys, like to be fair, I was in a part of like town that I wasn't super familiar with, but I was like, how do I get back to my house? I don't know. So like, I need my GPS. So I'm like, weird. My phone's not working. I sit there in the parking lot for like 10 minutes, turning it on, turning it off, waiting, giving it time. Like, you know, breathing in, blowing into the little like charger port. I'm like, this is so weird. So then I take my SIM card out. I get an earring out and like have a needle part to poke through to get the SIM card out. I take the SIM card out, I like, you know, clean it, whatever. I put the SIM card back in. It's still in SOS mode. I'm like, wait a second. My phone is broken, like broken. I'm no like IT techie girl. So I was like, what do I do? So I will say the one place that I know how to get to from any direction of any city is the mall. Okay. And so I knew the directions from where I was at to get to the Apple store at the mall. So I go there, I sit down, I'm like, this is crazy. Oh my God, I connected to the Wi-Fi. My car has Wi-Fi, which I didn't know. So I connected to the Wi-Fi in my car because my cellular device wasn't working, right? But my phone still, it was like basically a glorified iPad, you know what I mean? So like I FaceTime James and tell him like, this is so weird. He's like, yeah, go to Apple. So weird. So I go to Apple. Once I walk in the mall, I obviously don't have access to my phone. I give it to them. They run a diagnostics test. I tell them what happened. They say, yeah, I don't think you're supposed to bring your phone into a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. I'm like, that's what I thought. But she told me I need to bring my phone in. Okay. He comes back, he runs the diagnosis. He's like, yeah, so we can see your phone was broken an hour ago. And yeah, your cellular antennas inside the phone are fried. And I'm like, okay. He's like, so the antenna inside the phone is what like gives you cellular network. And I'm like, okay. He's like, so your phone's very broken. And I was like, right. Good thing I have Apple Care. He's like, good thing I see Apple Care on your account. He's like, perfect. So you paid for the 2 years of Apple Care up front. I was like, yes, me being responsible, even though I did not want to spend the $200 up front. Yeah, this is my PSA. Fucking pay the extra. I think it's an extra like $1 or something if you pay monthly. Pay monthly because guess what? My 2 years of Apple Care expired. That's right. I've had this phone for 2 years because I'm responsible. Guess what? My fucking 2-year Apple Care expired and I didn't get like a notice, or maybe I did and I ignored it. And because it wasn't just charging me monthly, my Apple Care was gone. So I had to pay $1,200 for a new phone because I was like, can you fix this? He's like, absolutely not. And I was like, can I trade it in? He's like, no, it's broken as fuck. Like, no. And I was like, damn it. I was like, okay. So this fucking cavity filling's costing me a lot of money at this point. I messaged the lady. At this point, I'm just like, my face is out to here. It's bruising so bad. I feel really weird going in public. Like, it just looks like I got into a street fight. Anyways, I'm like, okay, I called the place and I'm like, hey, not to place blame, like, I just want you guys to know that this happened so that you could maybe tell other people not to bring their phones in. She's like, that's so weird. That's never happened. And I'm like, right. Well, like I'm not going to ask you to pay for the phone. Just be like, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I really wanted them to be like, I'm so sorry that happened. She did say like, that's such a lie. She did say, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But like, I don't know. I was just kind of like, you told me to bring it in there. So I was just like, whatever. But I'm just not the girl. I am not the girl that would ask for, I can afford a new phone. I'm not going to like, I don't know what the rules would be. Like, would they take it out of her paycheck? Would she get in trouble for this? Like, I don't know. I didn't want to do anything with that. So I was just like, it is what it is. I got a new phone. It's fine. The iPhone 15 is great. All right. I'm so glad I have it. So anyways, didn't really, just kind of added that to my list of like, oh my God. But like, it is spring, but it's also almost summer. So this means a couple things. All right. So spring cleaning, you need new sheets. What are you doing if you don't have Boll and Branch sheets? You're crazy. Okay. Boll and Branch sheets they're just the best sheets ever because they are not only buttery soft, they get better with each wash. And I know that sounds crazy. You're like, what do you mean? Your sheets get better every time you wash them? They do. Okay. Tried and true. We have them. We have the most gorgeous little tan color. It looks so good. They have so many colors, by the way. But we love ours because every time we wash them, I swear I get in them and I'm like, these are better. They're better than before. It's amazing. And Boll and Branch just does that. All right. And here's the other thing. It's almost summer. So we need our sheets to be breathable. And I don't know if you guys are team Top Sheet or not. If you're American, you're probably like, what do you mean? Like, of course we have a Top Sheet, but I am marrying a European man who is like, what is a Top Sheet? Okay. So in order to convince him that we need a Top Sheet, which I know and love, around the summer months, this Top Sheet needs to be breathable. And Boll and Branch has the most breathable fabrics. While they're also soft and buttery smooth, they're breathable. Okay, you're not feeling suffocated inside your sheets, which I love. You just feel cozy. It's your home. My bed is like family. So I need it to be that good, all right? Boll and Branch signature sheets are the perfect way to start upgrading your sleep, okay? We even have them in our guest bedrooms because they're just so, so good. Over 11,000 5-star reviews, okay? They also offer a 30-night worry-free guarantee. So you can wash, style, sleep in their sheets for an entire month. And if you don't love them, you just send them right back, okay? So sleep better with the softest, most breathable bedding from Boll and Branch. Get 15% off your first set of sheets plus free shipping when you use promo code probably, okay, at bollandbranch.com. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com. Promo code probably. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Little by little, I'm starting to get really stressed out. I'm starting to get really frustrated. Here's another thing. You ever been on a fucking steroid pack? Oh my God. And I posted about this on my Instagram in like a funny, lighthearted way, but like, I need you guys to know that a steroid pack made me absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. What did I just say? It made me a fucking banshee. Okay. I literally would have punched someone. Like, I'm not a violent person. I'm not physical. Like, I have never felt inclined to punch like a wall or a pillow or something. You guys, I was not okay. Like, and I know if you Google it, they say like, yeah, steroids, roid rage. Like, that's what happens. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so in such a bad headspace right now. when my phone broke, which I don't care, like I said, it was $1,200. That is so annoying, but I bought a new phone. For some reason, when it all came just like piling down, the phone, the this, my face, the this, the cavity, blah, blah. I went to my bedroom with the steroid-induced like fit of rage, and I grabbed a pillow and I screamed in it. And I know you guys are thinking like, you screamed in a pillow? Ooh, you're so crazy. But like, do you guys know that that is actually kind of crazy that I had to physically go to my bedroom and scream into a pillow because I needed to release that amount of just like annoyance, frustration, and anger. Like, I haven't done that since I was like 9, okay? Like 13 or something. And James was like, are you okay? I was like, no, it's one fucking thing after another. And he's like, take a deep breath. Let's go for a walk. This fucking man, go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. Everything. You got bad credit? Let's go for a walk. Like, oh my God, like everything is not solved with a walk. Okay, my son stories, I don't know. But yeah, so I just have that moment, and here's what I need you guys to know. My cortisol levels were through the roof because of the steroid. Steroids also bring your immune system way down. I kind of just let it go. The hematoma starts getting better-ish. The swelling really starts going down. The bruise is getting worse. It is time for me to now I have like a very slow weekend. We were supposed to go to Miami. We had to cancel that trip. Then I'm excited because we are going to... I'm going to Florida for a day and a half to go visit Jackie, which was so much fun. Oh my God, I loved being in her house. I loved seeing the babies. It was just like such a fun time. And we were laughing about the hematoma. I was on the toast, which was iconic. Like anytime I'm on the toast, I'm just like thrilled to the gills. And I wake up the next morning, and keep in mind, she has, small children. And if you listen to the toast, then you know the story already. Like, I woke up and I had a really weird rash on my lips, face area, not my lips yet. And I was like, so weird. What is this? And so I go downstairs. Well, I don't do anything yet because it's like actually really, really burning. Like, it's not like a rash, like itchy burn. It's like really stinging and burning. And I'm like, what the fuck? So bad that I have to like put Vaseline on it. Otherwise, like it like hurts to move my mouth. So I call Taylor. I'm like, whoa, hold on. I think for a second I might have hand, foot, mouth. And then I'm like, her kids don't have hand, foot, mouth though. And I'm like, okay, like that's a thing kids can get. So I'm like, okay, is this like, what is this? Is it dermatitis? I call Taylor. She's like, you might have shingles. I'm like, shingles? Fuck. I called my dermatologist. She's like, it's really rare to get shingles from like at your age. And I was like, yeah, and I thought people get it on their like torso a lot. She's like, I'm still like not going downstairs to talk to Jackie yet because like I'm really worried that she's gonna be like, she's like a small child, you know what I mean? Like, and like a 2-year-old. So I was just like really stressed out for her for that reason. Like, I don't want to like endanger any children with anything. So I was just like, okay. So I'm like, all right, what the fuck is this? So I call someone else who's like, listen, there's a lot that's been happening with you in this last week and a half because I couldn't stop talking about it online, like this could be stress induced. Like, this could be shingles. You get shingles when you're stressed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But then everyone's like, maybe it's sun poisoning. Everyone, I'm going to like say this here and now. Like, it wasn't anything to do with the sun. I really don't think it was because I did tell everyone I went and quote unquote laid out at Jackie's house. Like, whenever I first got there, you guys, I don't lay out. That's not something I do. Like, I don't lay in the sun. I don't get any return. Okay. The ROI on me laying out is 0. So when I say I lay out, I mean, I'm just like in the sun, in the shade, in the umbrella. Like, I might have popped into the sunshine for 2 minutes. I was not sunburnt anywhere on my body, right? So I don't think the sun had anything to do with it, but people do say there can be some odd reactions with sun and steroids. I don't know. And I was on a fuck ton of steroids, like a mega dose. So I go downstairs, I tell Jackie what I think it might be. We start talking to like some doctors who are giving me some like medicine and whatever. I do pop a Valtrex right then and there just in case it's like a cold sore, but I knew it wasn't a cold sore because here's the thing about me. Y'all know I am a cold sore friendly environment over here, okay? I had a whole podcast episode where I say let's normalize cold sores. Like 80% of the world has them, and I have a cold sore that I started getting like 5 years ago from this like trip that I went on, Turks and Caicos. I got sun poisoning on my lip, and so now I will get a cold sore if I get sunburnt on my lip right here. I get the cold sore in the exact, and this is how that virus works. I get it in the exact same spot every single time, and I know it's coming. I feel the tingle. I take a Valtrex. I put little cream on it. Like, I have gotten this under control, and also whenever I go in the sun, I always put like a SPF on my lips or just like make sure my lips don't get sun. So like, I'm very aware of how that works, and like I said, if I get one of those, it is always in the exact same spot, center of my lip right here. But I take a Valtrex just in case, because I'm like, what if this is a cold sore inside of my mouth? But it doesn't feel or look like a cold sore. It's a lot more painful. Now, this is what I'm going to say. This is my working theory. I do not know yet if this is true. I'll never know, I guess. I'll never know unless it happens again, and I hope it never happens again. But I think I might have that morning when I didn't know what it was. I think I might have spread it myself. If that's how it works, maybe a doctor can weigh in and be like, that's not how it works. The virus is just like in your body and you had a stress reaction. I don't know. But I worry because Next thing you know, I'm like, weird. It's like all on the right side of my like lips, right? It's like surrounding the whole right side of my lips. And then as like an hour goes by and I get back to Nashville, Franklin, it starts spreading to the other side. Then it starts going all the way, the circumference of my lip. Like, I mean, any spot that you have area on your lips, it was on my lips. And I was like, did I do this myself? Because I got ready for the toast and I like put lip liner on to try to hide it a little bit. I'm like, did I spread it all over my mouth before I knew what it was? I don't know. Next thing you know, I go to sleep. I'm like, this is crazy. This rash. Still, you guys, everyone said they watched toast, they're like, she was in such high spirits, like good for her. And I'm like, yeah, of course, because that is how I respond to things that happen to me bad in life. Like, you have to laugh about it. You have to just get over it, move on, see the silver lining, live, laugh, love. It's fine. You know, it's Tuesday now. I'm going to sleep. My show's on Saturday. I'm fine. I wake up on Wednesday. Okay. I wake up on Wednesday. Keep in mind, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, me and Courtney were just going to lock ourselves in my house and just like run the show 1,000 times, dress rehearsals. And I wake up and I'm like unrecognizable. This is when I started posting like very weird cryptic things on Instagram that I'm really sorry were like very mysterious on like black box screens and stuff. But like, I was in a mental warfare with myself. I woke up, my lips were so swollen that I could not like you guys, if you've seen the pictures online, they're on go look at my Instagram post. I wake up and this is Wednesday. My face is a puffer fish. I'm like, what the fuck? It is so painful. It's so painful. I cannot even explain it to you. I'm like, I've got to go to the doctor right now. Guys, I could talk for hours, but you're like, the podcast is already an hour. This is an ad space. Okay. You need to wrap it up, but let me tell you something about First Leaf wine. Okay. If you are new here, then you don't understand, but let me let you in on a little secret. I am obsessed with this wine subscription. It's called First Leaf. I found it forever ago. It is a personalized wine club that has the most amazing wines and exclusive perks. Okay. It's called First Leaf. All right. And as a First Leaf member, let me break this down for you. I love wine. I love wine so much, but wine is expensive. Okay. And once I started understanding wine and realizing what I wanted, what I didn't like, you start falling into some weird scams. Okay. Because a lot of subscription services, like, they tell you they have great wine, and then you find out that the wine is like manufactured by them, and there's weird labels that are just pretty and make you want. Not First Leaf. Okay. First Leaf has high quality wine that you can truly have tried before. Like, I have had some of their First Leaf wine that I've had in other countries, in like South Africa, whatever. Just genuinely good wine. Okay. And if you're like, well, Shannon, that's great for you, but I don't understand wine. That's fine. You take a quick little quiz and they make it very, very digestible, right? They're like, do you like chocolate? Do you like sweet? Do you like bitter? Do you like this? How much wine do you consume? Do you want this? Are you adventurous or not? You answer all these questions. And the next thing you know, you are just sipping on the most gorgeous wine, okay? And they give you so many options. They really, really do. And best of all, you get to choose what you want. You get to choose how you want it. It's delivered right to your house, okay? You get an assortment of wine. It's delivered right to your door. That's the worst part about buying wine, okay? Who's trying to go to the grocery store? Not me. So you get a part of the First Leaf Wine Club. It's got perks. As a member, I get access to their incredibly helpful wine concierge. All right, we love that because I know what I like to taste, but I don't know about wine. So if you want wine pairing advice or to talk about wines in your box, you can just speak with one of their experts. Plus, you get member exclusive pricing on every single order. And let me tell you something. This is also a great gift option because the pricing is unbelievable. So if you want to join the club today and discover new wines that I'm obsessed with, like if you guys follow me, you know that I am always screaming how much I love First Leaf. Discover new wines that you will love with First Leaf. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/probably to get your first box. That is tryfirstleaf.com/probably. Tryfirstleaf.com/probably. I go to my dermatologist. She takes a scrape sample of this. I wanted to fucking die. It hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. I walk in though. She looks at me. She's like, Taylor goes with me. She's like, oh my goodness, what do we have here? Like, it is bad. All right. And I'm like crying. I'm like, it's really bad. I'm like, I have a show on Saturday, a huge show, doc. Like, I need to like be better. And she was like, I don't think you will be, but she thought it might be an allergic reaction for a second because my lips were so swollen. They were so swollen that I thought at any point, if you put a needle on them, they would just like pop like a balloon. And so I'm like, okay, she scrapes the sample. She looks under her microscope. She comes back. She's like, here's what I thought about not even saying. And I'm like, no. I'm going to say this on the podcast because this is why I got so upset in the office because of the stipulation and the feelings around this. So she tells, because she's a doctor, I'm like, so is it shingles? And she was like, it could be shingles. So she's like, I'm like, is it shingles or is it cold sores? And she's like, because at this point they started to really look like sores all over my mouth, like really bad. It's not just like rashes now, it's like really big sores and my lips are swelling. The bruise is still so huge on the side of my face. The dermatologist was like, what's that? I'm like, don't worry about that. We've got that under control. Okay. And I tell her I'm on the steroid. I tell her everything. She's like, okay, I'm going to take a scrape of it. She does. She comes back. I'm like, so is it shingles or is it cold sores? She's like, so it is herpes. And I'm like, hate that you said that word. I don't like that word. I'm like, so cold sores. And she's like, right. So, and she just keeps going on and she just keeps saying herpes, herpes, herpes. And I'm like, ugh. I'm like, can you please stop saying fucking herpes? I'm like, I don't ever get them around my mouth right there. They're only right here. I explained to her. She knows. She's like, I know, but she's like, the virus is inside of you with the trauma that you had to your face. She's like, with the steroid you're on that lowered your immune system. She's like, with your stress levels, did you tell me correctly if I remember you said you screamed in a pillow? I'm like, screamed in a pillow. She's like, with everything happening, she's like, your body responded in a way that is just like extremely rare. Every doctor, I'm so rare. She's like, this doesn't ever happen. She's like, I don't see it to this extent. The extent that yours is really unfathomable. It's so bad. But she was like, but it's like everything lined up together and stacked against you. And then like you just had this huge issue with it. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay. And then I was like, I finally just told her, I was like, I've been with the same guy for a long time. Like I don't know, I wouldn't have gotten herpes. And she was like, Shannon, because she's a doctor. Like I keep being like cold sores. She's like herpes. I'm like cold sores. Like say cold sore. She's like 80% of the population has this, Shannon. Like it's not, you need to stop acting like it's a big deal. Cause I'm literally like, I'm tearing up. Taylor's looking at me. She's like, it's okay. I'm like, I know it. Like my whole mouth is covered in herpes. Like this is so embarrassing. This is so gross. Like everything I just felt so low. Right. And I'm here to tell you guys, like, let's fucking make herpes great again. Like it's fine. It's 80% of the population has it. I'm sure the government has a fucking cure for it. They're just not giving it to us. All right. But like, it is what it is. Like, thank God this didn't happen before my wedding. Thank God that I now know that this could be like so terrible. And so I need to keep my stress levels down. She also said like she was like, I would venture to say, she's like, I can't make you any promises, but I would venture to say this doesn't ever happen to you again in your life to this extent, because you had that huge trauma with the hematoma to the side of your face, which like then the stress, then the steroid, then the this. She was like, the antibiotic. She was like, I think like this was like a perfect shitstorm. And I was like, okay. So anyways, I just want to normalize that because everyone was like, so what was it? What was it? The diagnosis? Like, was it shingles? By the way, shingles is still the herpes virus. Like they're basically like one and the same, but when you get shingles, it runs down one side, one nerve side. I think that's what it is. So like, that's why people get it on like one side of their ribs or like one side of their face. Also, I am a bit, she said I was a bit young for shingles. Okay. So yeah, it was cold sore herpes. All right. And I know Courtney's going to be rewatching this and be like, this will be a great clip when I just go herpes, but we're not going to use, no, I'm just kidding. I don't care. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So that was what happened. So now I'm like, okay, how long do we have? And she's like, 8 to 9 days. I'm like, that won't work. It's Wednesday. I have a show in 3 days. She's like, okay, let's just see what happens. I'm like, okay. I'm so upset. I have to turn my phone off. I do. I literally turn my phone off. It was the only time that I've ever been so, I feel very lucky that I don't experience anxiety. I talked about this on my story a little bit, but like I don't experience anxiety the way that I know a lot of people do. And it's a very crippling thing. And they wake up every day for, they don't know why they wake up so anxious, but they just have like so many things inside of them that are producing anxiety. And I feel very blessed that I do not experience that. However, I did experience that this week, like panic attacks, like really, really deep, like calling Courtney, like just bawling, crying, couldn't stop crying. Every time I talked to someone, I cried. I was opening this like cardboard box and I was like trying to just open an Amazon box and it like cut my finger a little bit, like nothing, like literally cut me. It didn't hurt. It wasn't anything. I burst into sobs, just started sobbing. James is like, what? I'm like, I just keep hurting myself. The mouth sores start busting. Okay. They're pussing, they're bursting open. And now my mouth is covered in scabs. All right. So now my whole mouth is crusted shut. All of these like fucking description words are so gross, but like now my mouth is crusted shut and I can't really move it very well because it's like crusted around and I'm trying to like pick the scabs off, but this is a very contagious thing. So I'm also not wanting to touch it and get it anywhere. You can like touch your eye and get in your eye. I'm like freaking out. I'm doing so much. I'm defeated, you guys. Like actually thinking back to the headspace I was at, I could probably cry again. I was so defeated on Thursday. My mouth was still so swollen. It was in so much pain. I almost called my doctor and asked for Xanax because I was so anxious. I had to turn my phone off because everyone kept checking in. I know everyone was being so nice. And like, these are my real friends, true friends that are checking in, being like, how are you? How are you? How are you? Like, I saw, like, are you worried about your show? Like, I'm worried for you, blah, blah, blah. And it was giving me so much more anxiety because like, I wanted to answer my friends, but the answer to their question is, no, I'm not fucking well, bitch. Like, I'm not okay. Like, I'm not good. I'm FaceTiming my mom and my dad. I'm FaceTiming James's parents. Every time they answer, they're like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, like everyone, it's not good. Okay. I basically get to a point where I have to just like turn my phone off because I cannot look at one more person asking me how I am. I cannot see one more message of people being like, you should do this. You should do this. I think you have this. You should do this. Like, it was all very helpful, I know, but like, in meaning coming from a good place, but like I couldn't do it. I turned my phone off for like a whole 24 hours and just watched Sex and the City from start to finish. It wasn't, I didn't finish it, but like the first 2 seasons, that helped. That just really turning my brain off helped. I woke up the next day. It's Friday. It's not fucking good. It's not good. The face is not facing. I call Courtney. We run through the options of having to cancel the show. And then I'm still though, and Courtney can attest, I'm still like, maybe I wake up better and it's all gone. And then I feel crazy for canceling it. And she's like, Shannon, we have to give them more of a heads up than just like canceling the morning of. I'm like, fair. She's like, 2, like, I don't think you're going to wake up and be all better. And I'm like, so I called Claudia actually, and I got to really give her some credit in the friend department because she just was like so helpful. And she's obviously like, she's done this before. Like she travels, she has big shows. Like she's in this position, you know, and I say, what do I do? And she goes, the show is canceled. And I was like, well, it's not yet. She goes, look at me, Shannon, the show is canceled. And I was like, but we could. She goes, the sooner you realize this and you take it in is the second you can finally breathe. You're trying so hard to make this work. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. She goes, turn your phone off. She was like, you're going to have to cancel the show. It's going to be okay. Your fans will understand it's a medical emergency. And she's like, it's done. It's done. And she goes, and just FYI, I'm crying on the phone with her. She's like, and just FYI, I love you. But if you did wake up and you looked better, you are not in the mental capacity to perform the way you need to perform for this big show on Saturday. You ain't there, sister. I love you, but you're not. And I was like, you're right. Like, you're right. Like, even if I woke up and I was magically better, like, I haven't rehearsed. I haven't like run the show through. Not that matters because I've done this for weeks and weeks before, but like, I'm screaming in pillows. Okay. I'm bawling my eyes out whenever I cut my finger on a cardboard. I'm not okay. Guys, it's springtime, and my favorite spring cleaning takeaway is that really amazing post-clean clarity that you get. You know what I mean? Where you've just done it all and you're like, this is amazing. Like, wow, how have I been living like this? It's kind of like when you find out that you've been paying a fortune for wireless. All right, so that is where Mint Mobile has phone plans for $15 a month. $15 a month. Like, are you joking? Like, just think about that. $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. Like, wow, how have I not been doing this? Like, how have I been affording this all the time? It's crazy. It is time to switch, all right? Switch to Mint Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I know I keep saying it, but you guys, like, the quality of Mint Mobile's wireless service in comparison to my old provider, and then the fact that I'm only paying $15 a month, I can handle it. Like, it's just insane, the amount you're saving and the amount of frustration you avoid from just having a wireless service that's reliable. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan with their jaw-dropping monthly bills and unexpected overages because they always hit you with that thing, okay? Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. They got premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone, okay? You don't have to switch phones with any Mint Mobile plan, and bring your phone number, okay? You don't have to switch your phone number either because that's annoying, along with all of your existing contacts, all right? Your ex that you don't want to talk to anymore, don't worry. It's coming right along with Mint Mobile. Ditch the overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's limited time deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for, again, $15 a month, y'all, okay? So to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/probably. That is mintmobile.com/probably. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/probably. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower than 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. So we do make the very difficult decision to cancel the show. The only silver lining is that I did get a lot of messages from girls. Because, you know, here I was on my podcast being like, make a girls trip out of it. Take the girls trip out of the group chat. Come to Nashville. So that I felt deeply, deeply like upset about. That I'm like, people spent money on hotels. They spent money on flights, like to come to my show. Like they spent money on tickets. But I wasn't flying them out to like bumfuck Egypt in the middle of nowhere in like Kansas, it wasn't, no shade to Kansas. I'm sure it's a lovely place, but like everyone was still in Nashville for the weekend, for a gorgeous, sunny, beautiful weekend that I'm sure they all had fun at. So even my girlfriends, Brantley, McKenzie, they came in still. They came over to the house one day, and they came over on Saturday, the day of my would have been show, and they made me laugh so hard, which was really nice. Just needed that. Although it fucking hurt. Every time I laughed, I would like burst my crusty scabs open. I'm like, stop. But it was just a weekend of resting and coming to the realization that sometimes things are out of your control. And that is a big issue for me because I am very big on control. I do not like when things are out of my control that I feel like should be within my control, which are me and my show and my like things that are mine. I'm like, I control that. That's me. This is my face, my body, my show. But like, you cannot control this. You cannot. Like, you have to relinquish control. You have to take a fucking step back and breathe, Shannon. And and Claudia was right. Everyone else that said that was right too. Like, the second I just came to grips with like, let's move on. Let's reschedule, which the venue was so amazing. Shouts out to the buyer and the people over at TPAC because they were just incredible and had actually been following along with everything. They're like, we knew this was not good. And then I send them pictures. They're like, we don't need to see anymore. We believe you. But yeah, I think like once I was able to come to grips with that, I did. So if you experience something like this, like, try to just remind yourself that you cannot be in control, and some things you cannot fix. The only time will heal it. Now listen to this. Ready for this? I fucking wake up on Monday. Yes, 2 days after, but like Monday, fine. Which is great. This is great news. Although it's a complex, right? Like in my brain, I'm like, this is so fucked up though. Like I'm should be so happy that I'm like better and that I can't tell you. Everyone will be like, what was it? I'll be like, I don't know. I was doing so many different things when I was just at my meet and greets in Boston and Philly and Pittsburgh. They're like, so you got better so fast. Like, what was it? I was like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Like, I think I was doing, so Anna Grace told me she had a vision. She said she saw this word lemon balm. She goes, what's lemon balm? And I go, I don't know. Do you know? She goes, no, but I just saw this, like, take it. And I was like, well, what is it? I'm taking so many things. Like, I have this like red light mask, this like Celluma thing that I'm using for 2 hours a day that NASA created. I'm taking like all of these like supplements. I'm taking like, I'm taking so much Valtrex up to my fucking eyeballs. I'm making Valtrex smoothies. Okay. Oh, that's another thing. I couldn't eat because I couldn't open my mouth. Oh my God. If I saw one more goddamn mashed potato, one more fucking, James started trying to get creative with the soup. He started buying me weird kind of soups, which was really nice because I was like, I can't eat chicken noodle anymore. I can't eat this anymore. I could only eat soft foods because my hematomas still hurt so bad and my lips were like crusted shut. Oh, it was fucking terrible. Anyways, I basically, yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe the lemon balm. Oh, we looked it up. Lemon balm is not a chapstick. It's like a supplement. It's like a liquid. Like how if you would take like vitamin B liquid or I don't know, it was like a liquid, and I ordered it and I started taking that by the fucking spoonful, like way more than it was recommending. And then I woke up on Monday and I was good, which is good. Tuesday, I was way better. Wednesday, I'm good. I was like ready to fucking roll, and I should be happy about that. And it's crazy. I got a lot of DMs, and I love you guys for this because I got a lot of DMs after I shared the photos of what I looked like online of people being like, not you trying to apologize for your face not being more fucked up. Like, not you trying to justify, no offense, you look fucking insane. Like, we all no real fan of yours and no real like human being that like means well and does good things in this world. Like, no one would ever want you to be on stage when you looked and felt like that. Like, we all, every single, please do not think that we are mad at you. We understand. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for giving me that gift of solitude and understanding. So anyways, we just did the shows. We were able to go to Boston and Pittsburgh and Philly. Loved those places. Me and producer Courtney have just had the best time. My parents came to the Boston trip. So all that to say, long story short, the face was not facing. It was fucking bad. It was bad, but now we're better and we're happy. And now we will, moving forward for the rest of my life, I will find myself in stressful situations, which I don't ever know if I'll be that stressed again because I'll probably never fucking take another steroid pack as long as I live. I'm getting my eyelid surgery done after we go to Palm Beach with James' family, who's flying in today, same day as us. And I literally, Dr. Mike was like, we may or may not do a steroid pack. I feel like you probably don't want to take one. I was like, I'm so sorry. I do not want to be on another steroid pack. I have PTSD from steroid packs. He's like, totally fine. Anyways. So long story short, Boston was great. My parents came to a show, which was so funny. And like so scary because like the show, you guys, the show is not for kids. Okay. The show is inappropriate and I know I'm biased, but hilarious. But like, you know, a lot of stories. My dad doesn't listen to my podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stories that I was like, ooh, Dad, okay. But it was just a great time having them there. I just felt so like proud and supported and I loved it. And then my mom's 60th birthday is today. It's Monday, April 29th, the most fabulous day in the world because my mom was born and she's the best person ever. So yeah, it's been a really, really happy turnaround after all of the craziness. Cause like keep this in mind, the hematoma plus the cold sores, herpes, that was 14 to 15 day ordeal. So like my face was not mine. I had no control over my face for 15 days. It was not great. So very, very thankful and happy that we are in a positive, happy place. We got to New York yesterday. We drove in from Philly and we went to, I went to lunch with Claudia and Taylor. I'm about to have Taylor on the next episode. Taylor Strecker will be joining us next week. So tune in. It's going to be so great. And we can recap our lunch because it was literally fucking insane. You guys, like we went to lunch at, I podcasted with Taylor at 1. We went to lunch at 2. I got home. So I stumbled through these hotel room doors at midnight, like 11:30. I think I went down to Courtney's room first at 11:30 and I was like, hey, like, wow. So much to talk about, so much to discuss from that. I'll save it for Taylor's podcast. Also, the most gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girl in the entire world in Pittsburgh gave me this notebook. You guys, do you know that I was on my last 2 pages of my stupid, silly goose British notebook that I bought at the airport in London? Like, I want to say like when James and I like first started dating, I was like in the airport trying to get little souvenirs for Walker. And, I was probably I kind of always knew that like James was going to be forever, you know, I'm like love of my life. But really that was so early on. I was probably just getting a lot of souvenirs because I was like, what if I never come back to London? You know what I mean? What if this sizzles out? I got to have some souvenirs. And I bought this silly little like spiral notebook that I saw there. And then I just ended up loving it. And I use it like all the time to like make my packing list or make my podcast notes. Like it was just like, it was me, it was mine. I just loved it. It was in the old house back in the day. Like it's been on this podcast for so long. And then I was on the last 2 pages and I was like, damn, I don't know the next time I'm going to London. And I have to get like the same kind from that airport store. James' friend came in, Louis, he came in and I was like, go to this store on your way in from the airport. He's like, what store are you talking about? I was like, it's a shitty little store. It's like by the food court. He's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, so anyways, the most gorgeous, gorgeous angel gave me this British notebook that I am now on page 1 of. Love it. Yeah, it was just great, you guys. Okay, so we'll talk about the lunch, but I have to tell you guys this. This is so funny. So Taylor Strecker, I was on her podcast, Taste of Taylor. Also, I just got, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're like, you're undressed now. I just got so hot. Okay, we just had to stop for a second. I had to take my sweatshirt off. I love the bar. I love you, Bridget, but I was so burning up in here. Okay, so I have to tell you guys this. This is so funny. This is a very exciting time for me. Okay, I'll just say it. I go on Taylor Strecker's podcast. We talk about this. We're in Boston, right? When I was in Boston, I went shopping because we got there a day early and we like had like, you know, just like time to just go around town. James was off doing his own thing. I'm finally better. My face is facing. I fucking put on the most gorgeous glam you've ever seen of your life. I just feel so good. I'm like, yes, the sun is shining in Boston. I want to go buy a designer item. I want to go buy a bag. I deserve it. I deserve it. This is not a finance podcast anymore. Fuck it. I want to spend all my money again. I'm back. I'm back to being toxic. Okay. She's a feral little money spinning rat. No, I'm not. We're going to be good. We just got irrigation at the house. So like times are tough. No. So I'm just like, I'm going to go buy myself a designer bag. I haven't bought one in a very long time. Have I? No, I'm going to go treat myself. You guys, I could not find anything. I like, I just couldn't. So I decide to go into Hermes, okay? Hermes. And I laugh at myself because I'm like, what are you fucking going in here, bitch? Like, do you know that right now Hermes is getting a class action lawsuit because basically they are getting like accused of forcing people to, before they're able to get a Birkin or a Kelly, like one of their actual bags, before you can buy a purse at Hermes, they're being accused of saying that their sales associates require you to buy auxiliary items first in order to then be like put in line or like given the opportunity to get a bag. So AKA you have to go buy scarves, you have to go buy shoes, you have to go buy wallets, you have to buy card cases. All of this is so like, it's starting to piss me off. I know this about Hermes, right? I see all the TikToks that are like, like I have a sales associate. She's really nice. You know, they point you towards the card cases at first, the shoes. You have to really build up a rapport with them. It's kind of pissing me off. I'm like, why can't you just buy a bag if you have money? Like, why can't you just buy it? And so I'm starting to get triggered from my like younger age where like I didn't have money and like I felt like bad because I didn't have money. You know what I mean? All these things I'm just like triggered. But I'm like, God, I want a fucking Birkin so bad. Like I want one. And here's the thing, like you can buy them from resale sites, but they tend to be a little bit more expensive that way, obviously, because they're like a very coveted bag that are hard to get in store. But sometimes on resale sites, you can find them for like normal prices because they won't be like brand new in the most like perfect condition. Anyways, I just pop into Hermes. I see these TikToks all the time that are like, come with me as you see how I got my dream bag, they're called leather appointments, right? And it's like, every girl's always shocked. It's always this gorgeous influencer, and she's always shocked that she walked in and was able to walk out with this Birkin bag. And I'm like, okay, the math's not mathing, but like, what do? You got to like rub elbows with the sales associate. Like, I think you just like go, and they always say this. They're like, I was just like really nice. I just walked over. Some of them talk about all the stuff they've bought that's on their account before to like give them the opportunity to get a bag. And then they were like, it was my time to shine, you know. Some of them just say like, I was really nice to the sales associate. She offered me a leather appointment. She said they had one. So also, like I said, I don't know why. I'm just like, it feels like I'm not being picked for the dodgeball team all over again. I'm like, why is it up to them? Why is it up to the sales associate if you could buy a bag or not? Like why? And you don't even get to like pick your color. You know what I mean? Like they're like, we have available this bag. Like this is what we can give to you. You're so lucky. And I'm like, that is so weird. Like if you are spending this much money, they're expensive, y'all. They're like double the price of a Chanel. If you're spending that much money, then like, why can't you pick out what you want? It's just crazy to me. Like they're like, you're so lucky that we're giving you this like purple polka dot bag, purple eater bag with yellow hardware, and when you wanted a black one with silver. Like it's just confusing to me, but whatever. I go in there, I start like looking around. I'm like looking at the shoes, looking at whatever, and I'm like, okay, do I do it? So I just walk up to the sales associate and say like, hey, didn't know if you guys had any leather appointments available today for me to look at a bag. And then I'm like, oh, they're going to laugh in my face. And then I'm like, I hate this way. I hate that I'm feeling this way. This is silly. This is crazy. And I'm monitoring my stress better now. So I'm not doing this. So I go upstairs. I do just kind of want to look at what else is there. And you guys, I hear this phone call. I hear this guy, the sales associate. It's in Boston in the Hermes. And I hear him on the phone. I cannot hear the other side of the conversation, right? And I just had this whole conversation on Taylor Strecker's podcast. So if you listen to it, I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. But it is very important to know that I am just listen. Okay. This conversation goes on his side. It's basically just like, yeah, it's about 4 to 5 years before you get a bag. I know. I can't even believe I'm saying that. It sounds crazy to say, but that is the truth. It's about 4 to 5 years. Well, people have been waiting a lot longer than you. Well, I know. Yeah. No, the bags in the store are only on display. Those can't be purchased. Well, you know, a lot of people have been waiting a very long time. So, and I'm like, oh gosh, this woman or man on the other end is like not happy that they're telling him 5 years waitlist. So then, this is an important note. I go to the other side of the store, and there's these two sales associates. They're like older guys, and then there's a guy that definitely doesn't work there. And they're talking very quiet, right? And then I go around the corner, and when I get closer to them, they like talk even more quiet or just kind of stop talking. I'm like, that's fucking weird. Are they talking shit about me? Like, what's going on? Do I look too poor to be here? Like, what's going on? And so I was like, okay. I didn't, by the way. I looked fabulous. So I walk near them and I just walk away. I'm like, okay, but now I'm definitely motherfucking interested. So I'll go around the bay where they can't see me, and I'm like looking at sunglasses, but like realistically, I'm just eavesdropping the fuck out of their conversation. I hear this guy say to this other guy while he's sitting there with the sales associate, like, that's the issue. That's the issue. That Hermes started hiring associates who weren't selective enough, and that's when you lose it. That's the problem. And I'm like, oh, he's literally admitting that the sales associates need to be more selective of who buys bags. Selective on, I mean, I didn't hear what the stipulations were, okay, but like, I was like, oh my God. I hate this place. I'm leaving. I don't even fucking want a Birkin if this is how you have to get one. Like, this is fucking so stupid. Courtney, will you hand me that bag right there? That bag. Guys, yesterday I bought a Birkin. Okay, I did. I bought this yesterday. I am right now the world's largest hypocrite and owner of the most gorgeous bag you've ever seen. I really should have fixed it first. It's brown, it's two-tone, it's gorgeous. I did not buy it from Hermes, but I need to speak my truth to you guys here and now, because one, this is not a finance podcast. Listen, mama works hard for her money. I'm very happy that I got it, but like at the end of the day, like I cannot believe that yesterday we podcasted yesterday, and I was like, I don't even fucking want a Birkin if that's how they act about it. Now I will say I bought it from a resale site, so I did not give the money, you know, technically it's probably still to Hermes, but this is I'm a sustainable queen. Okay, she's sustainable. She's helping the environment. I had a whole slew of colors to pick from. The sales associate couldn't have been more nice, letting me try them all, letting me see all the colors. Whatever I wanted, he wanted to give to me. You know what I mean? I didn't feel bad. I felt fabulous buying this bag. I felt strong and sexy, and I didn't have to be, in the situation that Hermes puts you in. But I did still want your bag. I did want your bag. So, anyways, that is just so funny to me that I'm going to be on Taylor's podcast, because her podcast will come out before this one, and they'll be like, I know you did not just fucking do that. So I don't have some crazy story where I'm like, come with me to Paris, like how I got my Hermes bag. I walked my ass into the fucking real. I got my paperwork with it. I got, it's nice when they're very, very authenticated or whatever. And this one is in really great condition. I did not pay like an exorbitant amount, although there was this like tiny little one that was like blue, navy blue. And I was like, oh my God, I have to have that. Like, that's gorgeous. It's like, I didn't know it was alligator skin. And apparently the smaller the bag gets, the more expensive they get. This is I think mine's a 30. So yeah, I want to say it was $70,000 and it could fit a lip gloss in it. I was like, this is actually gross. That's crazy. Like, that's fucking crazy. Anyways, very happy in my bag. I know a lot of girls, I talked about this on my influencers 101 and 102. A lot of girls that be posting their like it's know it's and their Target hauls. They like hide their Birkins in their like fucking closets and only bring them out and never photograph them. You guys are gonna be, not me. You'll be sick of me. I can't wait to carry this bitch around. All right. Mama earned it. She earned it. And, yeah, it's not a finance podcast anymore. Not right now. This episode, not a finance podcast. Do what I say, not what I do. All right. I love you guys. You just keep saving money. And one thing about us, money is ever flowing. Money comes and goes. Birkins are forever. Love you guys.